Missing your sales goals. Your leads aren't converting. Here's why.
You're not hitting your sales goals because your sales team is not converting leads, but because this has been going on so long, you've become numb to it. And if you're a real estate brokerage team leader, B2B sales of any kind, you know the struggle between lead generation and lead conversion. There's actually 10 different reasons why leads don't convert in today's market. I'm going to cover every single one of them in this video. I'm not going to hold back anything. And also at the end of this video, I'm going to actually give you a workbook to go and make sure you implement these strategies right away so you can see up to a 10x increase in lead gen and conversion within 90 days of applying this plan that I'm going to give you. Now, a little bit of context. My name is Isaiah Colton. I am a business coach and entrepreneur. Before I got involved in actually helping real estate teams and B2B teams attract agents and develop world-class sales teams, I actually did it for ourselves. Okay. So I was actually head of growth for an independent brokerage, and I grew that team to 100 agents. We had a teamage that we ran, a top producing team in our local market. And in addition to that, we actually built out a broker-to-book referral program where I attracted over 700 agents with a turnkey agent attraction system that you'll find out a little bit later on in the video. And so in this context, I have personally trained, coached, and with assistance of others, hired over 300 inside sales agents. 100 of them were on our payroll at any given time. And like I mentioned, working with a lot of real estate agents across the country, I saw why leads did not convert, and I documented it, and I've been on a mission to help solve this problem ever since. So let's get into the first one. And if you're watching this on YouTube or my podcast, I appreciate you subscribe. I put out awesome content every week and help me grow my brand new YouTube and podcast. So with that, reason number one, this one is not necessarily obvious, but largely overlooked. And that's your lead volume. If you are growing a teamage and you're purchasing leads, what happens is sometimes you have too many leads or you don't have enough leads. As for an example, we're working with a team right now. They're doing agent attraction, and they got to do agent attraction because they realize they actually have too many leads. There's no way that the sales team can keep up with them. So he's got two choices: notch the leads down or grow the sales team. He's choosing to grow the sales team. Now, there's a ratio though of too little or too much. What does that ratio look like? We see, based on working with a lot of teams on the Wall Street Journal's top 250 list, my partner, Verl Workman, who is one of the top leadership coaches in all of real estate, he has studied this ratio. It's about 50 to 100 leads a month that need to generate per salesperson outside of their sphere of influence. So they should be working their sphere. They should have a top 50 or top 100 that they're working, but then you should also be feeding them more leads outside of their sphere. And what happens is the reason why that ratio is important is because every single lead needs to actually be touched 8 to 12 times just to actually get an appointment. That's the standard, right? If you're going to convert at a high level. And so that stacks very quickly if you're giving the agents too many leads. And I have another awesome video that I'll share with you about lead flow and lead routing and how you should distribute leads, what the different models look like. We can cover that in a different video. But that's actually the problem number one, is either too many leads or not enough, and it affects you hitting your sales goals. The next reason is actually speed to lead. As much as this is talked about, it's an epidemic, to say the least, and especially for rising teams or teams that maybe got really big and they lost track of their lead gen, lead conversion best practices. It's proven that if you don't get back to lead within 5 minutes, you have a 50% decreased chance in actually ever getting an appointment with that lead. The real magic number though is 60 seconds. Okay. And so again, if you stay to the end of this video, I actually have a workbook and recommendation on how you can use AI and automation to help you solve this problem, because largely, as good as the intentions are of your sales team, almost none of them are going to get to the lead in 60 seconds. So you have to have a stopgap or do something different to fix this problem. Okay. Reason number 3 is your pipeline management. It's horrible pipeline management. Okay. And what I mean by that is leads come in, leads are being called. Okay. But there's no systematic pipeline built out for new leads. Okay. Leads that you've contracted with turn into a contract, and leads that have closed that you need to get referrals on. And because there's not really good pipeline management with specific stages that are not too complex, not a million stages, but stages that make sense. Okay. And all those stages are listed in the workbook at the end of this video. Then you can't even project your pipeline. And so what happens is if you have really good pipeline management, you can also use AI and automation to help trigger different campaigns depending on the stage of the pipeline at each pipeline stage or stage of the funnel. So if they're new, if they're contracted with you, they're closed. You can get really in depth and granular with that. But pipeline management is one of those simple but powerful mechanisms you can put in place, and somebody needs to be managing it. Either a sales manager needs to be managing it, you need to be managing it, an inside sales agent needs to be help managing it, but the pipeline's got to be managed. And the expectation is that the sales team has to keep the pipeline updated so you can actually see what this looks like. Now, if you don't, on a side note, if you don't have a really good pipeline management tool, or you're not in love with your current CRM, we have developed, we spent about a couple $1 million on an AI sales and marketing tool, and it has an extremely powerful AI-powered CRM and marketing automation built into it with this beautiful, simple to use pipeline, along with a whole bunch of other stuff you can check out. And they actually let you use it for free. So you can see that link at the bottom of this video somewhere. Okay. Now, the next thing is one channel outreach. This is something I train and coach on a lot, is that if your leads are not converting, most likely your team's been taught to do things the old school way, like maybe contact them by phone, or maybe they're not using the phone, they're only using text. And bottom line is they're not reaching out through multiple channels. So we teach a strategy where what you do is you call, nobody answers, you send a text, okay? Then what you do is you drop a ringless voicemail, contact them on DM, maybe send an email, and then go back and make a call. And by the way, folks, this is one session. This is one time. And what happens is when you go to make that second call, the pickup rate skyrockets. And people ask, Isaiah, aren't you contacting them? Isn't that a lot of outreaches through different channels? Everyone communicates through a different channel. And if you're worried about that, and you're worried that's too much outreach in one session, so to speak, then encourage you to change your mindset, because the opposite is what's happening in our industry. Nobody's reaching out. These leads are opting in to receive guides, workbooks, etc., right? Maybe they went on a third-party portal and nobody's following up with them. And so all you have to do is change your wording and say, hey, look, I want to make sure you get the best service for what you're looking for. So I left you a voicemail, and now I'm following up through text just to make sure that we reach you and can help you with your needs, whatever it is. If they're looking to sell, buy, whatever it may be. And the appointment booking rate skyrockets. Okay. That's reason number 4. Reason number 5 is you don't have an AI follow-up agent, meaning for your speed to lead and your AI agent. Okay. It's either like a cheesy chatbot, okay, with no intelligence, or not agentic, and it's not complementing your sales team. Now, I want to be clear. My conviction about AI and AI agent right now when it comes to working your leads is it's not going to replace an inside sales agent necessarily. It could replace a lot of them. It could, but there still needs to be somebody on the ground looking in the CRM, because an AI agent will identify warm opportunities and will get live transfers, booked appointments, but there's still going to be some stuff that slips through the cracks that have to be followed up with. And that goes back to actually the second one, is pipeline management. Somebody's got to do that. And that's part of pipeline management. But we have seen when AI agent is installed, it's because it can make so many phone calls a day, it helps you overcome the people that don't pick up the phone. And that's largely why we actually built that into our sales and marketing automation tool, because of this lead conversion problem. Okay. So reason number 6 is tracking lead behavior. One of the things that is so exciting about today's world is AI can help you actually track intent. And there's deep technology that can predict whether people are likely to move, but then there's other technology that AI can actually help apply a lead score based on how they're interacting with your database. So let's say that you send out a monthly newsletter or a value-based video to your database. What's powerful about that is when they click on the content, the lead score will change. Okay. And as the lead score changes, it gives you an indicator on who you should be staying in touch with. And you can put together a specialized list or a filter and follow up with those. If your CRM does not have that sort of lead scoring mechanism, again, I encourage you to try the software that we've developed called Ren 360. And it just comes with AI lead scoring. Any lead that you put in there, it just starts triggering it. Okay. Reason number 7 is role play, scripts and dialogues. Now, one of the things that's really powerful about scripts and dialogues is AI can actually help you enhance this at a whole different level. One of my favorite services out there called Shiloh will actually listen to the calls that are being made, recommend scripts, dialogue improvements, and what their action steps is. So it's like an AI coach on steroids. It does so many other cool things, but for the time of this video, and I'm also going to provide a link to Shiloh, and you can get a discount if you go through my link. One of our favorite services out there. Now, this is an oldie but goodie. There's no standard of time blocks. And one of the things that is so true when it comes to entrepreneurship, when it comes to sales, when it comes to performance in general, is if your time can't If you can't control your time, will control you. And what happens is if you don't have priorities set in your calendar, or your agents are not taught priorities, maybe there's power hours happening, 2 or 3 hour time blocks, gamifying this process, but doing it within a designated period of time. Gamifying is huge challenges of who can convert more appointments and giving rewards, etc. This mechanism is one of the most powerful mechanisms to increase lead conversion. Okay. Reason number 9 is not seeing your leads as relationships. So in other words, if you're having conversations and you're teaching skill sets, but you're not doing it from a lens that every lead that comes in is a real person, they have pain, they have motivation, and you're not teaching your team to have extremely strong rapport building skills and empathy within your sales training, this is going to crush your lead conversion, because you're going to essentially develop a bunch of scripted robots or people that don't really care about the end consumer. And consumers are so sensitive to this. That conversation has to sound genuine and natural no matter what they're saying on the other end of the phone. And reason number 10, which is the most overlooked reason, and I told you I was going to save the best for last, okay, is actually agent attraction. You might have a certain amount of people on your team. Maybe there's a bandwidth issue. Maybe it's a training and coaching issue. You don't want to go through the hassle of finding your next recruit. But what ends up happening with brokerages and teams and B2B agencies is they stop recruiting salespeople. And it's a killer, because what happens is the whole culture changes. When there's nobody new coming in, people get settled down, they get a little bit more comfortable, but also you're forced to stick with underperforming people. And when you're not backfilling underperforming people, it kills your lead conversion. The best, most profitable way to increase your lead conversion is to go find better salespeople. As obvious as that sounds, it's the number one killer of productivity. And I can keep going on and on about all of the reasons. And I've seen this happen over and over again with sales teams, is that they stop recruiting, the culture changes, people become entitled. And I got some really cool stories and case studies that I'd like to share with you coming off of this video that are in the workbook. And so there's a little bit of an action step here for you. 2 things. Number 1, I want to give you the free course on how to do lead generation and lead conversion the right way, but also do agent attraction the right way. And if you are in a position where your agent attraction is suffering and you don't know where your next recruit's going to come from, then you're going to definitely want to check out the course that's associated with this, as well as some of the other cool stuff that I talked about, where maybe you don't have the right sales and marketing automation built in. You can check out some really cool technology, do a free trial, different things like that. But more importantly than any of that is to make sure you're looking at these 10 things and asking yourself honestly, how well are you doing with these 10 things? And then develop a 90-day roadmap to increase your lead conversion. And I promise you, if you look at these 10 things, you take them seriously, you could 10x your lead conversion and your sales in the next 90 days, just with a little bit of focus on these 10 things. I hope you found this information valuable. Check out some of the free gifts and guides that I have around this video, and I'll see you next time.